Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, and my Dexa scan results are in. I'm not going to be able to put the screenshots in this one yet because I don't have the email, but I do have my paper printouts, and I'll do another video later and I'll show you guys the actual data itself for a separate one, but I just want to go over what's here, so let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing. Work on skill on my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. There's good and bad here. Am I 100% happy with this? No. Did I earn a cheat day? No. And I'd already decided yesterday I wasn't going to do the cheat day because I've got a lot of work to do, and I feel like me going and having pizza or something like that would be counterproductive at this point. I haven't earned that. Maybe I'll earn that when I get to 15% body fat. How's that sound? Maybe I'll have earned pizza. I've gone 3 months without pizza. What's another 3? What's another 6 months, right? And I got to look at it that way. It's about better habits. And going and binging is exactly how guys like us, people like you and I, people who are prone to fat, that's how we get fat. Because we binge once and then we think it's okay to do it again next week. That adds up real fast, doesn't it? To your gut and your butt. Alright, so that being said, I didn't lose as much fat as I had hoped for. I lost a little bit of muscle mass. But it could be just lean mass, it could be water. But you know what, people can argue that, well, DEXA scans aren't 100% perfect. We can argue that all day long, but this is the only data I have to work with. I don't have any other better tool to help me with this, so I have to accept this as my guidelines for what's going on. I lost body fat. I lost like 6 pounds of fat. You know, that's okay. Maybe it was a little more. Let me see what it says. What's my total fat change? I gotta find it in here. But I'm at 22% body fat now, guys. 22%. I wanted to be under 20 for this DEXA scan. I fell short of that goal. So even discussion of a cheat day is out of the question. It is out of the question completely. I mean, not even in the equation. You know, had I done something amazing, like I lost 15 pounds of fat, maybe. But what's interesting, yeah, I lost a little bit of muscle, but I gained arm muscle. It's like, what? How's that work? I lost leg muscle, guys. And they think me adding the cardio in might have contributed to that. But again, it's just general weight loss. And that's what people need to consider. When you're losing body fat, some of the lean tissue that you lose with it isn't even always muscle. It's also connective tissue. You've got to remember your body fat has connective tissue going all the way through it. Because my waist got considerably smaller. I'm surprised that I didn't lose more fat because my waist got measurably smaller. My measurements went down. Even my lifting belt is now loose, and I'm going to need to tighten it up another notch this week. It really is almost fallen off at the notch I'm on. But they noted that they saw a very significant loss around my waistline. That's where almost all my fat loss was, which would make sense for a guy who's over 20% body fat. It's where you're going to have it. Like all my lower abdomen area, hips, all of that. Went down quite a bit. But interesting, I lost like a pound of muscle on each leg. A pound. Still have massive legs, but that's a lot. I lost a little bit of muscle in my trunk. Since I gained a little bit around part of my core. So I gained some muscle in my core, but my left arm gained over a pound of muscle, apparently. And what was interesting, like I said, I ended up at 22% body fat. I'm not happy with that. I need to work harder. I'll own that. But you know what? It was actually really easy to lose what I lost. Like, if people were to say that took hard work, it actually didn't. It took less work than I thought it would. It wasn't difficult. I just had to up my protein and not go eat junk food. No pizza. Not go out for junk. No cheat days. That's it. That alone lost me over 6 pounds of fat, 6 or 7. Where are we at here? We'll get to that in a second. What was interesting to me was the changes in muscle balance. Because remember we had said before that because of my old injury here, me using mixed grip and maybe my left torso compensating for my weaker left arm, that gave me a massive muscle imbalance in my torso. It's one of the highest they've ever seen at this place. Like the actual techs and the people looking at it, so yeah, that's the highest they have in their system. They haven't seen anybody with a muscle imbalance that big in their torso. And it was 5.6 pounds. In other words, I had 5.6 pounds more muscle on the right side of my torso than my left. Again, due to me having that old bicep tear that makes me compensate on every pulling motion and always doing mixed grip. Well, I've done zero mixed grip pulling. I've done nothing but hook grip, double overhanded straps. I went from 5.6 pounds difference to 3 pounds difference. So I've dramatically improved that left to right muscle imbalance, right? So I actually looks like I gained a little muscle on the left side of my torso and lost muscle on the right side, or the other way around. The dominant side lost muscle and the previously weaker side gained muscle. So again, I saw a big change in that. That's what we wanted to look for. Remember, that was one of my goals, to get the muscle balance right. My arm difference changed enormously because of this old bicep injury and the tissue loss. And people need to remember, I actually had a piece of my muscle removed by the doctor. I saw the piece of muscle he took out. I physically lost muscle in there. So it's not just the old bicep tear and training issues around it. I have actually lost some of the fibers. I had 1.7 pounds of muscle difference left to right in my arms. Now I have 0.2. So I've changed that 1.5 pounds. I gained well over 1 pound of muscle in my left arm without doing any dumbbell work or unilateral work, just by focusing on trying to stay balanced and do the big compound movements and, again, avoiding mixed grip, things like that. It balanced me out significantly. My legs, I had 1.7 pounds difference in muscle in each leg, from my right being bigger. Now it's 0.9, so it's less than 1 pound difference. So that's interesting. And when we look at the body fat, what was also really interesting, even though my body fat is still on the high side, I've lost almost all of my visceral fat. And they had already said before that my visceral fat was really in the healthy range. And again, what the people are saying is that usually people's visceral fat, the fat around your organs, tells you a lot about the quality of their diet, not the quantity. Your body fat percentage comes from your calorie surplus, right? Eating really crappy food and having a bad diet makes you gain visceral fat. The quality of your diet affects that. I actually had relatively low visceral fat last time at 1.52 pounds. I'm like, wow, that's actually healthy. That's perfectly healthy in spite of being over 20% body fat. I lost another 0.5 pound of visceral fat. I have 1.02 pounds of visceral fat around my organs now, which again, they noted there that that's evidence that my diet is really, really good in terms of quality. And it's, again, I've lost body fat overall, so we know I'm actually not sitting around gorging on junk food. You don't lose body fat and visceral fat, particularly when you're sitting around eating garbage. So, I mean, the evidence is there that I have actually cleaned my diet up. Do I need to keep improving? Absolutely. I have a long way to go. And I accept that. I own that. It is what it is. And the only thing I can do is to improve. All I can do is keep working and be consistent and say stuff like, you know, instead of going, oh man, after my Dexa scan, I'm going to go get a big old cheat meal. I need to say, no, fatty, you don't get a cheat meal. Why don't you get on your bike instead? Why don't you do some extra cardio instead of a cheat meal? How's that sound? Reward yourself with an extra 30 minutes on your bike today, fatty. Am I right? Is that fair? Let's be fair. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be tough with myself. Because no one else is going to be nice about it. No point in me being so. I'm going to accept the reality of it. Okay. So yeah. My body fat percentage only changed a small amount. I lost a little bit of muscle. And what was interesting, though, is that my bench press went up. It's like, my bench press is up. Last week I was PRing. Last week I hit a PR, the best I've lifted in years on the bench press, and I did it 5 days in a row. 5 days in a row. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you say about that? Yeah. And I think the other thing is, too, because I've been struggling, the squat has gone down a bit. I think we know why. It's because I've been losing muscle in my legs. So I think at this point, me trying to maintain my squat strength, me putting extra work in doing those back off volume to try to keep some additional training volume there for some hypertrophy in my legs would probably be warranted. And what I need to accept at this point, the scale is not going to tell me exactly how much fat I've lost. There's going to be lean tissue loss no matter what is part of that. That's the downside to cutting without a bunch of drugs. Again, I've had a lot of people accuse me that, oh man, you've been blasting gear and all this nonsense. Guys, I lost a little bit of muscle. 9 pounds of body weight loss, a little bit of it was muscle. All right, that doesn't happen when you're blasting drugs, guys. Okay, real talk right there. Let's get with reality. Let's get with reality, guys. I'm honestly, really, and truly just on TRT. And that's what I've been on for a long time. There's no other anabolics in the mix. It really isn't. And when I say TRT, I mean normal replacement dose TRT, not 250 milligrams. I'm on 125 prescription tests every week. I'm in the normal hormone range. It is what it is. So because of that, I'm going to have to be careful with this. I'm going to need to really pay attention to my training volume. I'm going to need to make sure I'm stimulating enough muscle growth. I'm going to have to make sure I keep that protein really, really high while I continue to lose body weight, and accept that some muscle loss is just going to happen. So if I drop 20 pounds, I can't jump up and say, aha, I've lost 20 pounds of body fat, right? This Dexa scan just told us that's not what's going to happen. That's not what's happening. So if I lose another 20 pounds, 3, 4 of it, maybe even 5 pounds of it is going to be lean tissue of some type. That means it might only be 15 pounds of body fat. Might only be 15 pounds of body fat. I've gone ahead and, again, scheduled another Dexa coming up in December at some point. I'm not going to say the exact day. I have a December one scheduled. I've got a lot of time to work on it. I'm going to need to just accept that I just need to hammer down and I need to cut all the way through. I just need to cut. I need to lose body fat. I need to bring that scale down. And based on what I'm seeing here, I'm just going to assume that, only about 80% of what I lose is going to be body fat. So if I say, hey, I want to lose, 15, 16 pounds of body fat, that means 20 pounds of scale weight is going to have to come off. Now, what I am going to point out, I'm a little miffed that I was at 230 today because I was 228 a few days ago. I held 228 for 3 days straight. Then it drifted back up a couple of days ago, up to 231 and back down to 230 today. It is what it is. I don't know what happened. It just happened. I didn't go binge or anything. Just fluctuations in water weight happened. So I need to keep hammering down. Realistically, for the next Dexa scan, if I want to have good numbers here, I probably need to lose something in the range of 15 to 20 pounds of body weight. All right, that's just being realistic. I'm going to have to accept that. I'm going to have to own that, and I'm going to have to stick it out. It's that simple. All I'm going to have to do, I'm just going to have to stay disciplined. And you know what? I can do it. I know that I can do it. I'm committed to doing it. I've already decided I'm not going to get a cheat day or any of that. You know what? I'll get a cheat day when I drop another 20 pounds. How's that sound? When I get to 210 pounds, I will have earned a cheat day. I'll have earned a couple slices of pizza. Maybe even 3 of them. But until then, no, man, I'm going to have to just go the distance. It's going to be a lot of chicken breast, a lot of brown rice, a lot of potatoes, a lot of Greek yogurt, and a lot of salads. It means I'm going to have to keep doing the cardio and just buckle down. And you know what? Just learn to enjoy eating chicken. Chicken is your friend, right? Love that chicken. And not that chicken from Popeyes. It's going to have to be that grilled stuff. My Foreman grill, baked in the oven. And just learn to love it. Put a little bit of season on it. It's all good, right? But yeah, guys, I'm not 100% happy with everything here. I had really hoped that I had gained a little muscle, so therefore it would have been more fat loss. But I didn't. And I guess we got a real dose of reality here that fat loss always is going to equal some lean tissue loss when you're not on gear and you're not a total noob anymore. It's reality. Have to accept it. Doesn't mean I didn't burn the tissue off. I created that muscle loss with a calorie deficit. But, it is what it is. I accept it, I own it, and time to just keep moving forward. Full speed ahead. Alright guys, but I'll get another video up for you guys in the next few days when I get the email with all the data so you guys can see all this stuff for yourself. We're going to get transparency. You know, but yeah, I'm at 22% body fat now. Not 19, not 19 and a half, or something like that I had hoped to be by this time. I'm at 22. Did I make progress? Yes. We improved the muscle imbalance left to right. Absolutely. I lost body weight, I lost body fat, but I didn't lose as much as would have been ideal. And the only way to correct that is to just keep dieting, keep working hard, and keep moving forward. At least I've improved, and definitely, again, we saw improved health. We lost body fat. I lost more visceral fat. I'm down to 1 pound of visceral fat. 1 pound of visceral fat. So that's good. It's the reason my blood work has actually still looked okay. But yeah, hell of a lot more work to do. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick it out. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.